guys, welcome to Gemma B Makes. I'm Gemma and this is my crafty podcast where I talk about all the things that I've been making over the past couple of weeks. This particular episode I have been knitting, I have been spinning, doing a little bit of sewing, doing a little bit of dyeing, and maybe a sneaky purchase or two as well. I am going to dive straight in to show you what I've been making. As usual, I am coming to you while my little boy James has a nap upstairs, only this time I've also got Edward upstairs having a little bit of a sulk and a calm down. I've also got David, my other half, upstairs because he's currently been furloughed and he's just playing on the computer. These are all time limits that I have to try and work through. So I'm going to jump straight into it and start telling you about all the things that I have been making. Starting with a couple of finished objects. This first finished object is a cute little jumper for James. So this is the Tin Can Knits Flax Light. I have knit this in my own hand-dyed yarn. It is a superwash merino that I picked up undyed from Yarndale last year. And I managed to squeeze, this is the size 2 to 4, and I managed to get this out of just one full skein of yarn. I played a little bit of yarn chicken, but I managed to win. I did have more yarn in the same colour, so I didn't really play yarn chicken, I had more, but I managed to get the whole thing out of one skein, which was really cute. And this is my first Christmas present. So I wanted to get the boys a jumper each for Christmas, and I managed to do James's. I think it turned out super good. Now I have blocked this, but it has been since folded up and put into my Christmas gift box that I have already started. I was really happy with how this pattern turned out. It's a lovely pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I was so happy that I managed to get this out of one skein that I actually started another one as well. So I'm going to show you that now because now I knew I was only going to have one skein. I didn't really want to play, see if I can get the same gauge throughout a whole new project. I probably could, but I didn't want to play the yarn chicken again. So instead of making another jumper for James, I cast on the smaller size one. As you can see, I've just got the body here. I've got the sleeves on waist yarn. And this is just going to be a smaller one for my nephew Milo. So this is going to be, it's probably going to be Milo's birthday present this year. His birthday is in September. So it'll just be to the point where, you know, the weather's starting to turn a little bit cooler. And I think it'll probably fit him then as well. They seem to be turning out a little bit small, although the other one did block out a little bit bigger. But I was really happy with how the colour turned out. You can kind of see a slight variegation, a little bit of darker bits, lighter bits, and the occasional little pop through. I was really happy with how that turned out. So that's two tiny little baby jumpers. Now they just, I think I finished one a week. I think it's been about 3 weeks since the last podcast. Maybe 4. Time is just turning into one giant blur at the moment. We are still currently in the lockdown situation. Today is, I don't even know, Thursday, the 6th of May, I think. Yeah, it's going really slow, but yet really fast at the same time. I'm finding this whole situation very odd. It's weird because I have lived my whole life, not my whole life, but I've lived for, in my adult life, as I've always said that I am quite an introverted person. I like spending time by myself. I like getting engrossed in my crafts and I don't mind time by myself. However, throughout this whole situation, I've realised how much time I spend with other people. I think I go to, usually my usual daytime routine, I am a stay-at-home mum with my little boy James. He's 2, Edward is 7 and he goes to school. and my other half, David, goes to work every day. So I'd usually spend, we'd do the school run. I'd go to a play group with James, and where I'd see all my friends, all my mum friends. On Wednesdays, I go to the spinners group, so I see all my spinning friends. I have, you know, the people that I went to school with that I see on a weekly basis. I have lots of different groups that I spend a lot of time with, and to not have that at the minute has been, well, I think it's hit me most this week. I've had enough now. I would like to see my friends and my family, and, you know, give my nephew and niece a really big squish, and my mum and my dad and brothers and sisters, and no, it doesn't make it harder, but David is loving this time off. He has got so much progress done in the house of jobs that he's wanted to do for years and years and years, that we moved to this house about 3 years ago, and we dove straight into the demolition of knocking walls down, building kitchens. We had to get every single room plastered. Like, we've built it really again from the inside, bottom up, and everything kind of slowed down. Well, the money ran out, so it all slowed down. But this time off, so David's been off work now for 5 weeks, I think, and we've settled into a really lazy routine, not a lazy routine, but a lazy morning, and a nice, we've been taking it in terms of having a little sleep in, and then I'll sit down and do a little bit of schoolwork with Edward while David plays with James. We'll have some lunch, James goes for a nap, and we do our own thing, and then we'll do a little bit more schoolwork, and I'll play with James while David gets some jobs done around the house. And it's worked really, really well. He's decorated lots of things, and it's all gone really, really nicely, and he's loved it. But he is a proper introverted person. He doesn't spend time with his group of friends. He's a musician. He plays bass guitar in a rock band. It's like kind of an 80s cheese covers band. So he likes playing his gigs, and he practices maybe once a week, but he's not missed it. And to have someone else in the house that's loving it, that's loving this time, and I'm not anymore. I want to go out. I want to see my friends and family, and, you know, see other people. Oh, well, that was a little bit of a rant, wasn't it? I'm sorry. I was talking about things and it just got a little bit. Oof. Well, there you go. It's just what's happening, and I feel a little bit bad now that I've had that giant rant about, you know, my really privileged life, and I know I really appreciate everything that I've got. I really appreciate the fact that we've got this nice home, and that we are able to stay inside and spend time with each other. We're not getting lonely. We're not getting sick of each other to the point where we're hurting. You know, Edward has pushed some buttons, but, you know, we're all happy and we're safe in our home, and I am really, really privileged to have all those things. At the same time, I am done now. I would like to go out, and then I feel really guilty for saying that I really want to go out, when actually, as soon as all this lockdown is kind of released, I don't think I'll be going out. I'm still a little bit wary of the world outside. It would be really nice to have David's mum round for dinner, or, you know, go see my family, or have the boys stay over at Nanny's house for a day. That would be really nice. I'm not saying I want to go to Download Festival. Well, I do want to go to Download Festival. I'm really gutted that we've had to get our tickets back. But, yeah. I'll probably cut out this entire rant. Shall I start talking about my knitting again? Yeah, okay. Oh dear. Sorry. Okay. So I actually have another finished object. So last time I spoke to you about my knitting, I was getting into a little bit of a funk. I was getting into a little bit of a, into a hole where I didn't know what I wanted to make. And I thought the best thing I can go do is just go play with my yarn, go into my stash, organise it all out, sort it all out, see what I've got, see what I'd already planned, because most of the time when I buy yarn, I usually buy it with a project in mind. It's not often that I buy something frivolously. I usually have a project in mind, so I thought if I just go have a little dive in my stash and see what I can find, and see what shouts out to me. And the one thing that shouted out was this absolutely stunning yarn. Now you can see I've used it. This is by Dye Done, and it is their Yakalicious DK. So it's 60% superwash merino, 20% silk and 20% yak in the curcuma colour, and it is absolutely one of the loveliest yarns that I've worked with. I remember seeing this at Yarndale. It was my favourite yarn. It was my favourite stall. Her stall was absolutely brilliant. Her samples were beautiful, and there was a sample knit up in this yarn. The colour, I hope it's coming out well. I think because it's on a yak base, and a yak, their base is usually quite dark. It's like a grey. I think if it was on a white base, like if it was on a merino base, it'd come out at a really, really deep brandy colour, like a deep brandy. But because it's on this yak, it's got such a depth to it. It's so beautiful. And I knew when I bought this that I wanted to make a really nice big cowl, and that's what I've done. I cast on and I finished, so I've actually got a finished object, guys. I want to show you this cowl. Now this is the beeswax pattern by Amy Vandelar. Now I have the hat pattern, and I made this hat maybe last year, 2 years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite things that I've made. I think the pattern is absolutely beautiful. Now, so what I did is I took the hat pattern and I popped an extra repeat on it, and I just kind of made a long tube cowl. Now it wasn't until after I'd made the cowl and I was trying to find out, I was looking up for some show notes for today's podcast. I was trying to remember the name of the lady who did it, and then I found that she actually has this pattern written out as a cowl. Now I've just kind of done a little bit of a hack of it, and it was quite easy to hack, but I feel a little bit bad that I didn't actually use her particular cowl pattern. But it's worked out really well. Now it's still a little bit damp, but I'm just going to show you how absolutely luscious it is. It sits so well. I'll be able to pull it up. Oh, it smells so nice. Oh, it's still a little bit damp. I'm going to have to take it off. This was a silly idea. But yeah, I just wanted to show how scrunchy, drapey and lovely it feels. So nice. The yak and silk is so soft, and I just absolutely love this pattern. I think it is absolutely brilliant. The stitch definition, sorry, I just keep flipping it about, don't I? I will hold it still. Yeah, the stitch definition is just absolutely brilliant. I love these. It's just a one stitch cable, and they're just so effective. You should be able to make like any kind of pattern you want with that little stitch. And I must say, when I made this pattern as a hat a year or two ago now, I remember having to really concentrate to do it. I printed out the chart, and I was there with a little piece of paper, a little bit of sticky tape, and I did it row by row, and I really had to concentrate. And this time I did it. I think I've got better at reading my my knitting, because it was really, really easy and really, really simple. So I think I might be improving. So it is the only way I can see it anyway. Because yeah, it was, and because I was able to read my knitting, because I was able to see where I was going, as you can see, I managed to get a full cowl done. Again, it took me about a week to knit this. I really, really enjoyed doing it. And I have some scrummy leftovers as well. So I'm really hoping I might be able to get a little pair of fingerless mitts out of them, so I can match. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed doing that. So that was my next finished object. Now, like I was saying, I was in a bit of a knitting funk. I really, really want to cast on a jumper that I've done in my own hand spun yarn, but I haven't finished doing the spinning. And I did a stash dive and I got my beautiful dye done yarn, and then I blast through an awesome project, but then it's finished, and now I got back into my little funk of, oh no, what am I gonna do? But I joined a group on Instagram which is run by the lady that taught me how to brioche at Yarndale, Gwen. Now, Gwen is a lovely lady. She runs a knit group in Headingley, which is in Leeds. This is not too far away from me at all, but I could never get there because it clashed with Edward's swimming times. So Edward did swimming lessons and I used to take him to that, and I could never go to the knit group. But I joined her her Instagram group, yeah. And they have a Zoom meeting on a Saturday morning, and that's been really, really nice. I've been taking part in 2 of those now, and it's really, really nice to actually see and talk with knitters that, well, you know what it's like to actually talk to somebody that enjoys the same things that you do. So I've really enjoyed taking part in the Zoom groups on a Saturday morning. Now they're doing a knit along. They're making the Shawl Hoodie Cardigan by Suzanne Summer. So I thought I would jump in on their little cowl and make mine my own too. So I had a little bit of a dive through my stash. For this particular pattern, you need 3 colours and 2 skeins of each. Now I had a little bit of a stash dive and found all my lovely Northshire yarns in her alpaca, silk and cashmere base. Now I know that I talk about this yarn all the time, but it really is really, really nice, and this is all of it. I used it all. So I found my 3 colours. I think, oops. So these are my colours. This is denim. This is the one in the middle is something lagoon. I can't remember, and the end one there is called Feathers. Now this yarn is, as you know, is my ultimate favourite. I love this yarn so much. Now this yarn here, this lagoony colour, was my first ever purchase of a hand-dyed yarn. Was it? I bought 2 on the same day. So I bought one from the Yarn Lab and I bought this one from Annika. She had like a trunk show at Yarn Etc. in Harrogate, and I went along for the day and had a little squish, and I came away with 2 skeins of this. Now, in my ultimate wisdom of being a first ever knitter, I knit a 1 skein shawl. And it was just terrible. I pulled it out a couple of months ago and it was like the worst knitting I think I've ever done, and it was such a waste of the yarn that I unravelled it. So I pulled out all the yarn and reskeined it back up again. So now I have 2 skeins of this one, 2 skeins of this, and I only have 1 of this. But I have some really nice deeper darker grey that's kind of halfway between this one and this one. that will suit really nicely. And the pattern is written in a way that you can actually, you don't really need 2 colours of each. You could, in fact, I think Gwen is doing the whole thing in minis. So it really does call for, you know, you can pick any kind of yarn that you'd like. This is my progress so far. Now, I've not got this on the best needle. It is 2 colours in stripes. So the way the pattern is written, you make a shawl first. So if you think this is the V-neck shawl, it kind of goes around. This would be the shoulder and the arm, and then this comes around the front. So it kind of, you're making this bit first, if you get what I mean. Anyway, I'll just show you how lovely my colours are going together. So this is the lagoon colour and the feathers, and it's just so lovely. It's so lovely. It's so soft. The garter stitch on it just makes it squishy loveliness. And it's really nice to just take part in a knit along and know that other people are doing the same as you. People haven't even cast on yet, and then there's other people that are nearly finished. So it's really nice just to see everybody's progress and just take part in something along with everybody, that just, and it just gives me that little bit of a boost, a little bit of a an inspiration to make something that actually I probably wouldn't have picked. I saw Suzanne Summer on Fruity Knitting a couple of episodes ago, and I really enjoyed a lot of her patterns, and it was actually one of my plans to buy one of her patterns. And then when everybody started making this one, I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to join in too. And I've really enjoyed it so far, and I'm really looking forward to how it's actually going to turn out. Some of the other girls have picked some really bright colours, like really big poppy neons, and it looks brilliant in those. My palette is actually a little bit more muted, but I'm really looking for it. I think it's quite wearable, and I know that I will wear it. I don't think I'd wear it if it was crazy neon. Would I wear it? Yeah, I probably would, because I'd made it, but yeah, I'm really enjoying my palette at the minute. So yeah, so that's my new cast on, and I've really enjoyed working on that, and it's nice to have my mojo back. Even though I have not lost my mojo, I've still been knitting, I still have been making. I've not really had the inspiration to do much with it, and it's really nice to be able to say, actually, I've got a really beautiful finished cowl, finished project, and a nice new squishy project on the go that's actually quite a long-term one. It's going to take quite a bit to make. So I was happy with that. And I have one more project that I've been working on. I'll put all these ones away. Oh my god, I'm full of them. I have one more project that I've been working on, and this is the Entrelac socks, designed by my friend Esther Shannon, and so far I have got this far. So I've got 2 socks. Ignore these needles, they're just on there for purposes of just holding my stitches, just holding them on the needles. I've got to say, I was given these needles a long time ago in a bag of hand-me-downs. Somebody's grandma passed away, and I inherited all the needles. I don't know how anybody can actually knit with these. They are terrible. The joins on them are horrible. The actual needle is horrible. Anyway, sorry. That's a bit of a bitch, wasn't it? Sorry. Okay, so this is actually a little knit along again that we've been taking part in with my ladies from my spinning group. Esther is one of the really talented spinners there, and she has designed these socks, and she's currently releasing little bits at a time. So we had a really interesting toe. I'd never done that pattern before. In fact, I used it on another pattern straight away because I really found it really quite interesting. Nice shape to it. We worked up to a heel, so we've now got 2 heels on both. This was done in, was it a wrap and turn? I can't remember now. It wasn't even that long ago. Sorry, Esther. but yeah, they fit really well. And then it's a couple of inches, and we've just started doing the setup, I'm guessing, for the entrelac. So it's got these little triangles at the top, and I'm halfway through doing the second foot. This yarn that I'm using is a Regia that I picked up off of Amazon quite a while ago, I've got to be honest, and it's a nice hard wearing sock yarn. Let's have a little quick look. Yeah, 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide. So a really sturdy sock yarn. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So there you go. Hopefully we will have, I think there's one more part of her pattern, but she's not quite written it out yet. So pull your finger out, Esther. Just kidding. I've got other things to do. And that's all my knitting. That's everything that I've been knitting. I have been doing lots and lots of spinning because I am loving spinning right now. So a couple of weeks ago, I really hurt my shoulder spinning. I got RSI, a bit of repetitive strain, and I must have done something else at the same time, because I don't understand how I could have hurt my shoulder so badly just from spinning. But anyway, I did. I'm just going to check how long I've been talking because the camera keeps cutting out. So let's have a little look. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. I've just had to check. I've just had to stop and start the camera, and it's telling me there's only 20 minutes left until all the storage runs out. So I'm sure I can tell you all about my spinning in 20 minutes when I could talk about it for hours and hours, but I won't, I promise. So the progress on my spinning. You guys have seen these colours before. This is all fibre from John Arbon in the mustard, sycamore and sandbar bases. No, colourways, sorry. I'm really, really happy with how this yarn has turned out. And I'm spinning currently my fourth colour to go at the bottom here. So it's going to be in this order. I've made a little bit of a boo-boo because my spin is currently getting plied. So we've got the yarn attached to it here, which is attached to my spinning wheel. But I just wanted to show you, I've got 2 full bobbins that are currently being plied. And this colour is called nope, lost it, can't remember. I'm sure I'll just pop it on the screen. But yes, thoroughly enjoyable. These 2 bobbins are currently on my lazy kit, like I say, and I'm in the middle of plying. So I've got my 4 colours so close to having 4 colours to make a jumper. Now, with all the yarn chicken that I've been playing recently, I really didn't want to get to the end of a hand spun jumper and realise that I didn't have enough yarn. I think I would be absolutely devastated. So what I've been doing is ordering more fibre from John Arbon. So to go with these colours, I couldn't tell from being on the internet. You can't see what it's going to look like when it's spun. You can't see what they look like together. I've just kind of had to guess. So what I did is I've picked this one, which is blue spruce. And I thought maybe that would be darker than the very darkest one. So if I could add an extra one. I picked up this one, which is called Fern. I thought that would fit in somewhere. And I picked up this one, which is called, again, I can't remember. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm just rubbish at this, aren't I? So I got 3 new colourways to spin up and see if they fit with my jumper. Now, I have been playing on my little electric eel wheel nano, and I've spun all 3. Just little tiny samples, just to see what they'd look like. Now, this blue spruce, this one here, which I thought was going to be more blue, more darker than the other one, actually is very, very similar to what's already getting spun here. There is slightly, well, there's no green in this one, whereas there's a slight bit of green in this. But I think they're very, very similar, so it's probably not going to be the blue spruce. I chose the middle one, this one, that's this, and I think kind of fits here, maybe next to it, or in the middle, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I think I've decided that I'm going to use this fern one because this seems to fit into here just nicely. It kind of breaks it up a little bit. The only thing is, this one has that little tinge of orange, whereas there's no orange tinge of the ginge throughout the rest of the pattern, but I think it fits quite nicely. So that is the plan. I'm going to finish plying what's on my wheel at the minute, and then I am going to spin the rest of this fern viola top. All of these fibres, all from John Arbon. Absolutely brilliant service throughout this whole lockdown. They're still shipping, still working away in their mills, creating beautiful, beautiful fibre. So that is the progress on my hand spun jumper to be. But that is not all the spinning that I've been doing, because I have also finished the bargain bin fibre that I picked up from World of Wool just before the lockdown. This has been spun on my electric eel wheel nano also. There's about 50 grams here. Now 50 grams got me one full bobbin, and then I popped that bobbin onto my ball winder and plied it 2 ply together, one from the inside, one from the outside. And I think this has turned out absolutely lovely. I think it'll make a beautiful hat, which is probably what it's going to end up being. I was really, really happy with how that turned out. Some beautiful colours in there, some really nice rich coppers. I think it looks like, you know when copper like galvanises and it gives that, it turns green, doesn't it? It gives green and browns, and I think it reminds me of that. I think I'm going to call it galvanised. There you go. And that is everything that I've been making, guys. I'm going to have to go get them for you, because I did make some sneaky little purchases, and I also won a little giveaway from Mel Brown. In fact, that is here. I managed to win this absolutely delicious undyed skein of merino cashmere. It feels absolutely deliciously soft, and I have some lovely dyeing plans for this one. I have also been planning to do some dyeing to make myself a cardigan. I would like a really nice dark navy cardigan. Okay, so when I originally was dyeing yarn for James and Edward's their jumper, I wanted a really dark navy. Now it worked out that I didn't actually have enough of dye to make the colour that I wanted, so I've ordered some gay wool dyes in the colourway Musk. Now looking at the pictures online, it looked like a really dark navy. Now when it's come, it looks like it might be a really deep purple. I'm okay with that. So I think my navy cardigan is now going to be a very deep dark purple cardigan. And I actually have all my yarn in the sink at the minute, soaking, ready to do some dyeing this afternoon. So that is some plans. But I did also buy some more fibre and get the gift of some more fibre, and I want to go show you that. So I'm going to go grab that now. Okay, are you ready? So as well as winning that beautiful skein of undyed yarn from Mel, she also sent me this absolutely beautiful hand-done bat. So she made these on her blending board and sent me this beautiful, beautiful blended bat. Now she says there's about 30 grams here, which I can get a lovely little skein of yarn out of that. But these are so my colours. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mel. It was out of the blue as well. It wasn't for anything. It was just gifted because she's kind and lovely. And if you don't already watch Mel Brown of Mel Brown's Crafting podcast, I suggest you know where to go next. But as well, so me and Mel were supposed to be going to Spring Into Wool Festival, which was supposed to be in the middle of April. I think it was April the 18th. I won tickets to go, 2 tickets to go for the weekend, so I invited Mel along, and then we obviously, with all this, neither of us got to go, so I thought they are currently the onlinewoolshow.com. So if you can go to the online wool show, all the vendors that were supposed to be at Spring Into Wool are actually online and selling everything that they had for the festival. I went on and I picked up this beautiful, beautiful braid of fibre from Wheeldale Wool Crafts. Now I saw this, I thought it was absolutely stunning. We were supposed to go to Spring Into Wool and my plan was to buy some fibre from Spring Into Wool, and I wanted a really pretty braid, and I think that is exactly what I got. I think it's absolutely stunning. And it is 100 grams of merino fibre. I think it's beautiful. Really happy with it. It's super soft. But that was a really nice purchase, and I was really surprised at how lovely it is. Often I find that if something looks beautifully photographed, actually in real life it can be a little bit dull or the other way around. But that's just stunning, and it came all flat packed as well. It was like vacuum packed. It's sucked dry. I thought, oh god, it's not going to pop out, and as soon as I cut it open it just went poof. Super fluffy, super lovely. So I'm surrounded by fibre and all these spinning projects that I can get to play with. We've got the time right now, so why not, eh? And I can't wait to be able to cast on all my own hand spun yarn into a jumper. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I think that's everything. What else have I been doing? I've had the sewing machine out, but I can't. Okay. So in the craziness of all the progress that David's been making around the house, we've been decorating. We've also been moving bedrooms around, and James is now got his own little bedroom, whereas before we had a spare room with the computers and spinning wheels and boxes of camping gear and everything that should belong in a loft. So David, on this time off, David has actually boarded out the entire loft, and has made some really just awesome storage space. I don't think he's really done it really well. So we've got now lots of storage space upstairs in the loft, so everything's got changed into the loft. James is out of our bedroom because he's 2 now and he has been in our bedroom for 2 years, and he's got his own bedroom. But because all the shops are shut, we can't really decorate very much. So I just made a bunting, like a little James bunting, and tried applique for the first time. And it looks really cute. So I'll show you a little clip of, well, I say it's bunting, it's not really bunting. I just made little panels and I've hung it on the wall as if it was bunting, because yeah. But yeah, so have a little look at that. Hopefully I'll see if I can do it now while James is asleep and you can see him all cute in asleep. Yeah, but that's so that's everything that I've been making. I'm sure I've been making something else and I can't for the life of me think about it. Oh, I made a couple of project bags. Okay, I have been, there's nothing to actually show really, because it's just all been prep that I've been doing. So I've been prepping to make a couple of project bags. I managed to make one and send it along to Mel Brown for her lockdown rainbow socks for a prize. So if you want to have take part in the lockdown rainbow socks, it's a knit along that's going on at the moment. While we're all in lockdown, there's no rules, just cast on some rainbow socks and I'm sure you'll be entered to win a bag made by me, some undyed yarn and some other little lovelies that Mel's put together for a prize. Yeah, so that's everything from me, guys. I'm going to get off now. I'm sure my 20 minutes is way run out. Are we even recording right now? I have no idea. Okie dokes. It's been really nice to catch up with you guys, and I will catch you all next time. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay home while we must. I'll see you all next time, guys. See you later. Bye.